How are things going on?
Yeah, struggling for food.
I know we have to live with all these virtual platforms.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, hope everything is okay in the campus, in the
Yeah,
college.
yeah,
Everything is under
pretty
control.
okay.
Yeah.
Hardly very busy. Those students are not there.
Oh, okay, okay. I think you
Simply,
must be having a lot of hectic meetings because you're not traveling now, everything on virtual mode.
yes, yes, yes. That's
Yeah.
very true.
Brother, shall I
Okay, that's
start?
great to hear. Yeah. Okay.
Shall I
Yeah,
start the college anthem?
yeah. Fine.
My
Good
voice
morning.
is clear, right? And Jinu, is it okay?
Stopping by the time, musing on the timeless truth sublime. Seek aside a gleam on flaming wings. Sacred heart, the soul enchanted saints. Blessed are we on this praising shore, blissfully gleaning pearls of lore. Pilgrims on these pastures green, seeking joy into lands unseen. Sacred hearts, abode of light, shine on bright, abiding heart. Sacred heart, shrine of light, shine your beams, make us one and heart. Children of the heart, we join our hands to love, to learn, to grow together. Children of the heart, we join our souls to dare, to dream, to live for the other. Master benign, anchor divine, hallowed be thy home name. Grant us to bless, grant us love, all that proclaim thy grandeur and love. Sacred heart, abode of light, shine on bright, abiding heart. Sacred heart, shine of light, shine your beams, make us one and heart, make us one and heart, make us one and
Respected guest of the day and dear participants, a very good morning to all. Today is World Food Day. This year's World Food Day marks the 75th anniversary of the founding of FAO. With a view to looking towards the future, we need to build together and centered around the theme Grow, Nourish, Sustain Together. Our actions are our future. As countries deal with the widespread effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, World Food Day 2020 will highlight how food and agriculture are an essential part of the COVID-19 response. This year's Nobel Peace for this year's Nobel Prize for Peace 2020 was awarded to World Food Program, highlighting the significance of this day. I am sure the seminar being organized by the Department of Environmental Studies, Sacred Heart College, Tevara, in association with Food Scientist and Technologist India Cochin chapter would immensely benefit you. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Junu George, Dean of Science, Sacred Heart College, Tevara, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Dr. Ramya, and good morning, everyone. As we heard from Dr. Ramya, World Food Day promotes global awareness and action for those who suffer from hunger and for the need to ensure healthy diets for all. This year's World Food Day marks the 75th anniversary of the founding of the Food and Agriculture Organization. With a view to looking towards the future, we need to build together, and the theme grow, nourish, sustain together. Our actions are our future. We are very glad that we could host this seminar on this World Food Day, which is organized by the Department of Environmental Studies and sponsored by the Association of Food Scientists and Technologists India Cochin chapter. We can also be happy that the small efforts from our parts would have a greater effect in the coming years, whether it be in sustaining food production or in eradicating hunger strategically. At this juncture, I salute the visionary planning of Father Prashant, our principal, in agricultural productions from our own paddy fields, and the Department of Sociology for distributing Podichora for the destitutes on a regular mode for the past several years. Also, Father Principal made it very clear that no student in the campus will go hungry and made arrangements with diet or canteen with the support from the student welfare funds. Let's pray may our efforts grow in this direction more and more. So I welcome our principal, Reverend Dr. Prashant Palakapalil CMI, the great advocate of sustainable development to this function. Welcome, Father.
Thank you, Jim.
We are extremely glad for the array of eminent personalities with us today. We welcome Dr. C.N. Ravishankar, who is the director of SIFT, Wellington Island, Kochi, to our midst, who will be inaugurating the function. Welcome, sir. Now, the technical session is chaired by Professor Dr. D.D. Nambudiri, who is the president of AFST Cochin chapter and adjunct professor at CUFOS, who is the backbone and co-coordinator of this event. Welcome, sir. Now, I welcome our three resource persons, Dr. Sanu Jacob, Director, Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, FSSAI, New Delhi. This is an autonomous body established under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, and which is responsible for protecting and promoting public health through the regulation and supervision of food safety. Grow, nourish, and sustain by eating safe food. The FSSAI perspective will be his topic today. I welcome you, sir. He'll be joining us shortly. And now the second resource person is Dr. K.P. Sudhir, Associate Director of Research, Kerala Agricultural University, Thrissur. Food Safety Management System, a PRP approach will be the topic. We welcome you, sir. Now, Dr. Binod Parameswaran, who is a senior scientist at NIST Trivandrum, will talk on microbial enzymes in food industries, process development and applications. I welcome all the HODs of our college, especially Dr. James, who is heading the Department of Environmental Science. I welcome all the delegates, faculty, students from outside our institutions. Hearty welcome to all our deans, my colleagues, and all our beloved students. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I humbly call upon our dear principal, Reverend Father Dr. Prashant Palakapalil, to deliver the presidential address.
Dear everyone, a warm namaskaram to all of you. I am immensely pleased to do this small job, though it is not really warranted. I agree that on webinars and such platforms, all the paraphernalia regarding presidential addresses and such should be stopped. But today I am eager to do this on many counts. First of all, I am very, very passionate and happy about the kind of framework from which the world today is operating. That is the Sustainable Development Goals. And I am somehow really fascinated by the idea. The world nations are united on.
Uh, Father, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry. I am extremely sorry for wasting precious 1 minute. Dear friends, warm namaskaram to all of you. My great pleasure to be on this platform, and I deem it a great privilege to be speaking to you. Though I agree that such paraphernalias as chairperson's address and or presidential address is not warranted on such platforms, today I am eager to do this on many counts. Number one, I'm extremely happy regarding the kind of framework from which the global nations are operating right now. Though we do not know the kind of commitment into that, but the framework is extremely good. Like we speak about sustainable development goals, 17 goals which are to be attained by 2030. Of this, today, special reference is to number two, zero hunger. Not that there wouldn't be anybody, that hunger wouldn't be there. There is a bad sign. Hunger should be there, but nobody would be left hungry on account of lack of resources. So let us focus on that and try our level best to attain this goal at our level, beginning with our small neighborhood and localities and going wider. And fortunately and coincidentally, this year, the Nobel Peace Prize has been given to World Food Program. I think it's a very befitting kind of, it's what, from a cursory glance, I can speak that this is a very befitting kind of an award and very fitting that effort like that is being recognized. I hope that we all will join our hands in our own limited way and try to achieve this great goal. But together with this goal, we should read goal number three, that is of health for all and well-being. So this well-being cannot be achieved when people go hungry. So these are very easily connected. And then in the connection, we speak about food and World Food Day. We speak about a few things in this connection. I believe our enlightened speakers will definitely shed light on it in greater detail and greater specificity. But as a layperson who is very much interested in this, number one, food security. Yes, and I am very proud that our nation had been one of the nations which made an act called Food Security Act, and in that connection, linking it to employment generation and NREGA program and all that. That's something very fabulous about our country and our governments which have done that. I hope that they will sustain. Number two is regarding food safety. And so this is a major concern. So not only food security, but also food safety, that we have safe food for all, not only food for all, but safe food for all. In this connection, I am very glad that college also is involved in certain activities, which I would like to share with you briefly. That we are collaborating on a platform called Organic Kerala Charitable Trust, which is based in Kochi and spread all over the state, but basically operating in Kerala. Our aim was it was launched from Cooperative Hospital Tukakara with a view of health. So health to be protected requires food and safe food. So we are now focusing on safe food production and linking the food product producers to market. So that is Organic Kerala all about. So we promote organic farming, though it may also have its own limitations. But from our limited knowledge, we find that this is something which we should promote, and everyone should be involved. Each individual who eats, and each family which is thank you. Each family which is sustaining, each family which is eating food should come together to produce food. So I feel that that's a great endeavor, and let us all join hands in this great endeavor. I don't elaborate much. I thank everyone involved in this. I remember with great gratitude Mr. Joji who linked me to this particular circle, and Dr. Nambudri came in through his contact. I'm very thankful to Dr. Nambudri and the organization of FCSSI. I hope that more such collaboration will continue as the goal number 17 of Sustainable Development Goals go. That for all the furtherance of these goals, we have to join hands with various agencies, various nations, various organizations, and individuals to come together and join hands. So I thank Dr. Nambudri and his team, and also the esteemed presenters today, Dr. Shivashankaran, who is one of our great friends and supporters, and all others. I don't take each of the names, and I thank the Department of Environment Sciences for having taken this initiative to coordinate the whole thing with them, and also our faculty of Dean of the Faculty of Science, Dr. Jinu, for having persevered all these days. I welcome once again on my personal behalf everyone, all students, all faculty members, all others involved. I thank all of them and may God bless us all and may there be sufficient food for all. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukha bhavet. Let there be peace all around and let everyone be without affliction. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. I now invite Dr. T.J. James, Head Department of Environmental Studies, to offer felicitation.
Good morning to all. Today, I feel so happy that we could celebrate the World Food Day on account of the fact that, as Dr. Prashant, our father, said, that we should practice or we should maintain zero hunger, that we should think that, or we should work in such a way that cumulatively, that nobody in the world is not capable of having food, at least for one time per day. Reverend Father Dr. Prashant, Dr. Ravi Shankar, Dr. Nambudiri, Dr. Sanu Jacob, Dr. KP Sudhir, Dr. Binod, and all my dear participants who are eager to hear the deliberations. That is what is going on today morning. Good morning to you all. It is pertinent to address the food and the food-related socio-economic, cultural, and environmental issues, especially on the occasion of this particular day when we celebrate the International Food Day. It is high time to develop a sustainable food system, a type of food system that provides healthy food to people and ensuring food to all, and also create a sustainable development, environmental, economic, and social systems that surround food. In this context, I feel that we should pay attention to a sustainable agricultural practice, which our father, our principal, does in the campus as well as outside the campus, and a sustainable food distribution along with the sustainable diets. I also urge to have a look at the wasting of food waste that has become a fashion throughout the world nowadays. Another pertinent fact is the component of the climate change, as it has been found that up to 37% of global greenhouse gas emission could be attributed to the food system, including crop and livestock production, transportation, changing land use, including deforestation and food loss, and even waste, food waste even. Together with this, the need of a retrospection of sustainable traditional food items, like those we especially with the reference to Kerala, I mean the crops like cassava, yam, elephant yam, colocasia, which etc., which have been replaced by junk foods in the new era. One should also remember that these were cultivated absolutely in a natural way, or otherwise, as the buzz term today, organic way, as it is termed now, without the use of any synthetic fertilizers or pesticides. We used to have those food crops in the past. Nowadays, these are being irrelevant for the new generations. We know that the introduction of high yield varieties actually demanded the use of synthetic fertilizers and pesticides, which actually also added to the problem of climate change. Last but not the least, we should also address to those who have no access to any type of food, the hungry population at different parts of the world. I hope the deliberations in this seminar would cover those topics in detail. I need not go into the technical aspects of it. The seminar may and maybe an eye-opener to the authorities concerned. I also feel that the Association of Food Scientists and Technologists India, especially the Cochin chapter, headed by Dr. Nambudiri, will take up these issues. I'm grateful to the association, especially Dr. Nambudiri, for associating with us, for conducting this seminar, which is otherwise, I would say, a divine seminar. I wish all the best. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now we are entering into the inaugural session. It's our privilege to have with us Dr. C.N. Ravishankar, Director, SIFT, Kochi, who has consented to inaugurate the webinar. He joined SIFT, Cochin as scientist in 1991 and is a recipient of several prestigious awards, including the K. Chidambaram Memorial Award in the field of fish product technology. Sir, I most respectfully invite you to deliver the inaugural address and to inaugurate the webinar.
Hope I'm audible, Dr. Ramya.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Most respected Reverend Father, Dr. Prashant, my senior and my teacher, Dr. Nambudri sir, and my friend, Dr. Sanu. I just see him join. And Dr. James, I see Dr. Jinu, Dr. Ramya, and maybe Dr. Prashant, Sudhir must have joined. And all the faculty of the college, all the heads of the departments, all the delegates, and maybe students. Good morning to everybody. First of all, let me thank Reverend Father for giving this opportunity for me to, join this occasion. I'm sure all of you agree when we are celebrating the World Food Day. It is, and we are talking of so many issues we're talking of food security, nutritional security. It's our duty, as Dr. James was mentioning, it's all part of our duty to join hands to see that hunger is eradicated from this country. And it is really, when we have food surplus, it's a shame that there are many people who are not getting even single meal a day. That's really very alarming. So appropriately, the Food FAO is celebrating its inception today. So that's how we are celebrating the World Food Day. And I'm happy to tell you, I'm part of Indian Council of Agriculture Research. Today, we are releasing so many varieties. I think Honorable Prime Minister is going to release a lot of varieties today and also a coin commemorating this event. And I'm sure Dr. Sanu will be talking more about the theme of this year's World Food Day. Grow, nourish, sustain, and let's work together. And, the country is going through, the increasing population. We need to address this, a lot of issues of malnutrition, undernutrition. Even though food is surplus, it's really unfortunate that we are losing so much of food as waste, rightly pointed out by Reverend Father Principal, and also the Dr. James. What's the problem is, once it is harvested, the huge amount of post-harvest losses, probably lack of, the infrastructure for a cold chain, management of the post-harvest food. It's not the same in all the foods, okay? If you're talking of seafoods, you see, so much of, because highly perishable. So, but aquatic products play a major role when we are talking of malnutrition, undernourishment. I'm sure fish is going to play a huge role addressing all this nutritional security, food security. And I must compliment the principal on this occasion. We were talking of some of the initiatives, what he is doing in addressing these issues, going organic way. I think I am very proud that, the principal is a role model for all of us when we are talking all these initiatives. I must compliment Dr. Prashant in this endeavor. Whether we are talking sustainability, we are talking of, really, one name comes to me, when we are talking of our area, the Kerala, Cochin, Dr. Prashant always comes to my mind, and he is definitely a role model for all the youngsters. So I must compliment you, Principal, on this occasion. And another person I would like to compliment is Dr. Nambudri. Okay, he is leading the way. The AFSTA chapter in I see so much of vibrancy in the activities of Cochin chapter. So I must compliment Dr. Nambudri sir for taking all these initiatives. And again, I must remember FSSI. Okay, even though they're trying their best to bring in a lot of initiatives in the country, whether bringing standards, putting standards, and regulating. And when we are talking of food safety, providing quality food, safe food to the consumer is the prime importance for all of us. In that endeavor, FSSI doing a great job. I must compliment Sanu and the whole team of FSSI on this occasion. What they are doing, they are building capacity, and they are actually putting a big infrastructure. They are doing a great network. Whether it is Netsco Fund we are talking, identifying the referral lab, and also when we are talking of food, the major concern is the adulterants, the contaminants. We are talking of AMR. It's coming in a big way. The antimicrobial resistance. That's a major concern for us. Okay, and when we talk food, it is not safe anymore. Okay, because in our in focus on increasing production, there are a lot of problems of the diseases. Managing these diseases, we are pumping in antibiotics, heavy metals, contamination, insecticide, pesticides. They're all very, very alarming. So when we are talking of all that, ensuring safety to the consumer is a prime importance. So that direction, having testing facility, improving our, ensuring safe food to the consumer, whole value chain management is very, very important. In that direction, FSSA doing a great job. Of course, all the state labs are also joining hands in this direction. So we must strengthen the infrastructure, the cold chain management, reduce post-harvest losses, and also address all the concerns of the contaminants, adulterants, whatever additives we are adding. We must ensure that they're all safe to us. Okay, and addressing the issue of AMR. So these are all the issues. I think burning issues we must be talking. And the father talked about the SDGs. Okay, so these are all our concerns for all of us, and the initiatives of the college, initiatives of the AFSTI, Cochin chapter, and several organizations, FSSI, my institute, universities, institutions. I think we all must join hands. Father rightly pointed out, networking, and we can't work in silos. I think Ramya was also talking about that in the beginning. Gino also pointed out, Dr. James pointed out many things. So I think it's a high time that we all must join hands together, work together for ensuring safety, eradicating hunger from this country, because we have surplus food. Only thing, down the value chain, we are losing all this. So we must ensure that we must protect all our traditional food. I think again, Dr. James was mentioning that we must protect our whatever traditional food we are doing. Probably we should be addressing it with appropriate processing technology, appropriate packaging technologies. Okay, and we must bring confidence to the consumers, because now consumers are really scared of going to the market and taking food, anything, whether it is vegetable, fruits, fish. People are all talking about the safety concern, the contaminant, adulterants. I think we must bring in confidence to them, ensure that the safe food is reaching to the consumer. Once again, thanks to the organizers for bringing CAFT to this and giving me opportunity to share my thoughts. And I'm sure all will be looking forward to hear from my friend Dr. Sanu, Sudhir, and I must compliment the Sacred Heart College for all their initiatives, and especially to the father, Dr. Prashant, for all the initiatives. And we are all there with you, Father, okay, for taking his initiatives ahead. CAFT will be very happy to join hands with you in whatever little way we can do. And once again, complimenting the AFSCA chapter, Dr. Nambudiri sir, and I wish everybody on greetings from CAFT family on this World Food Day. And let us hope that hunger will be eradicated and we all will be getting safe food, okay, so that we are healthy, we will live very happily. And all these pandemics, all this, today morning, I just wanted to quote, somebody was circulating a small in the WhatsApp. Hunger kills, hunger virus kills nearly 90 lakh people per year. And the vaccine is nothing but food, okay? When I say food, it should be safe food, quality food. So let us all take oath today to see that all the people are getting the more nourished food for all the population. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best. Thank you so much. Namaskar. Jai Hind. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, for inaugurating the webinar. Now we will move on to the technical session chaired by Professor Dr. D.D. Nambudri. Dr. Nambudri is presently working as adjunct professor in food science and technology in Kufus after holding position as faculty and dean in various institutes in and outside India. He is also the president of AFSTI Cochin chapter. He had published several research papers, few books, and has a patent to his credit. I cordially invite Dr. Nambudri for his introductory remarks and also to chair the session. Welcome, sir. Over to Nambudri, sir. Hello, sir. Okay, I think Dr. Nambudri, sir, has lost his connectivity. Okay. Now may I call upon Dr. Sanu? Sir, hello, Sanu, sir, you are there?
Sanu, unmute.
Sanu, sir, please unmute yourself.
Are you able to hear me?
Of course, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. So
Okay,
first
sir.
of all,
Sir, I may, excuse me, sir.
Okay,
I may just introduce you and then you may begin, sir.
sure.
Okay, sir. Dr. Sanu Jacob is presently working as the director at the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, New Delhi. He is a recipient of several awards, including the European Cooperation in Science and Technology grant, twice to carry out short-term scientific mission to Netherlands and Belgium. He has given invited lectures in different national and international forums and has published peer-reviewed articles on his subjects. Now, may I invite Dr. Sanu Jacob to present this topic on grow, nourish, and sustain by eating safe food, the FSSAI perspective. Over to Dr. Sanu.
Thank you, Ramya, and thank you, Sacred Heart College and the organizers of AFSTI Cochin chapter for giving the opportunity to speak on the theme of this year's World Food Day. Nourish and sustain eating safe food. I know I could see here 185 participants, 184 now, and assume that 90% of the participants would be the students of the college and from other parts of Kerala as well as from India. So I thought I'll make my presentation in a very lucid, I'll start from the foundation and then I will discuss upon how the FFFA is working, what are the challenges, and what is the way forward. And let me go directly to my presentation. Okay. I hope it is in the full screen mode. Are you able to
Yes,
see the presentation?
Yes, sir.
So, when we talk about food, we should understand where exactly this word comes from. So, and the term fodder, which is given to cattle. So from there it is derived. It's a very old German word called foda, and the very purpose of food is to feed or act as a fuel. It's like your car or a vehicle. So something like that is the fuel for the body is the food, and it contains, both the nutritive and non-nutritive component. In fact, I used to ask, when we intake all these things in our body, the water, the drugs, the oil, face cream, cigarette, chewing gum, etc. Can we consider this as food? Since it is an online version, I can understand when you cannot interact here. But nevertheless, I would say out of the listed item here, water is a food, and other than that, there is no other aspect which is food, because as per the definition of FSSAI, let us understand what is food. So it is processed, partially processed, or unprocessed, which is intended for human consumption. You just focus on the blue, text, what has been. It can be either genetically modified, engineered. It can also be ingredient, infant food, packaged drinking water, alcoholic drink, chewing gum, or any substances. Focus on the underlying part, but it does not include any animal feed or live animals, or anything which is pre-harvest, which is standing on the crop. So in that way, the food has been defined, and then the drugs, the medicinal products, cosmetic, narcotics, psychotropic substances, they are also not treated as the food. Eventually, to make anything new as a food, then there is an official gazette which our standard division, science and standard division, after after thorough discussion with the scientific panel and discussion, if it is deemed as, it is considered as food, then it falls into the category of food. Well, the food science is a very interdisciplinary subject, from agriculture, biology, biochemistry, physics. It is having connection in all fields of science. For instance, like history. If I want to say, the origin of food, or the origin of wine, so there are different. When you trace back, then again food is associated. Or geography. If I want to consider geography in terms of geographical tagging, GI tagging, like Ratnagiri Alfonso or Mysore Park, they are indicating the geography. So likewise, so food is connected to all disciplines of sciences, as well as economics, and also the law, because FSSAI is also dealing with the law. What Ravi Shankar sir had said,
I think some connection problems he has. Let's wait for a while.
that are coming either through intentional or through through non-intentional ways, they are coming into our food. And if the level is high, then it can cause major challenges in terms of health problems like cancers and other diseases. So why food safety is required? Mainly, the food habits are changing now. If I am not wrong, Dr. James was telling, people are not consuming kappa, kachil, or local food. They are more going towards the junk food or heavy fried items. So the young generation is more fond of that. So there is a change in the food habits, which is again threatening the health of human or individuals. And then increase processing and handling. It is the population of the world is directly proportional to the food production. So the more the population will be, higher will be the demand, and you can expect a lot of companies, a lot of food manufacturing units will come up. You can see 10 years back in Ernakulam, the restaurants were quite less, but now it has doubled or tripled in terms of quantum. So with increase in population, you can expect increased processing and handling, and then there is a competition, and if anyone wants to make a quick money, you can also see some economic fraud, adulteration, and such challenges. And then globalization of food trade. So what is there in excess, there is opportunity to export that to another country where it is deficient. Coming to the pre-FSSAI scenario, FSSAI is not a recent born. In fact, it was developed long before, but different parts, aspects like milk, meat, all were having a different domain and coming under different ministries. They all were governing the food sector. So after 2006, when the Act came into picture, all this multiple food laws were brought into one umbrella. In fact, my subsequent slide will tell more about that. And with that, we are able to achieve a lot of what Dr. Ravi Shankar had said. We are going at a very fast pace with a lot of initiatives. Coming to the food regulatory system in India, as on today, we have two regulators. One look after the domestic and the import food, which is FSSAI, and one is the export food, which looks into the compliance of the importing country. So that is the Export Inspection Council of India. And I had the privilege to work in both these regulatory bodies, and more or less the agenda or the focus of these two organizations are one and the same. When I again magnify the domestic food regulatory system in India, we again have the BIS, EGMARC. Of course, BIS and EGMARC are pertaining to certain food products which the food manufacturer has to take on voluntary basis. But ultimately, any food that has been manufactured or whether it is on distributed or on sale has to take the mandatory FSSAI license. So looking at the timeline, we started a long way before. Even in 1946, there are certain orders. So if you look at the timeline, right from the independence till 2006, all this different organization, vegetable oil product, meat food product, milk and milk product, they all were brought into one umbrella. And the regulation thereafter came in 2011. And the genesis, if I again magnify the FSSAI after 2006, so it was notified in the Parliament on 24th August 2006, and then the authority was established in 2008, and the regulations started coming from 2011 onwards. And FSSAI work on the science-based standards, and the main purpose is to regulate distribution, sale, import of safe and to bring the wholesomeness of food for human consumption. So this is what I had already said in the previously. All the orders, respective vegetable, fruit product order, meat product order, were all brought into one umbrella. The main feature as on today for FSSAI is the integrated line of command. They focus on the strategic issue, licensing through one single window. Previously it was FLRS. Now we are moving towards the FOSCOs in the coming week. The entire nation will go into the one single platform of FOSCOs for issuing the license. Then we also, trust the responsibility on the business operators. We do have a lot of trainings like FOSTAC training or, time to time different trainings are being given on good hygiene practices, good manufacturing practices, so that they become responsible to produce safe food. And then there are different sections also. If anyone is doing fault, then there are penalties. I'll just touch upon that. More emphasis is now, we are making the consumer empowered, and that is through the education. And we also see that we are inconsistent with the global measure, especially, through the Codex Alimentarius Commission, which is again a joint venture of FAO and WHO. So any standard that is being formulated there, we see that that is, well adapted within the Indian condition. In FSSAI, I was telling it works on the science-based principles and standards. So we have the scientific panel. There are different panels which are vertical as well as in horizontal. Vertical like fruits and vegetable, fishery, they are only confined to product. When horizontal will be like biological hazard or some like contamination panel that will be across all the vertical panel group. Then any recommendation that comes goes to the scientific committee, and from the scientific committee, it goes to the CAC, Central Advisory Committee, which have the CEO, the FSSAI authorities, as well as the State Food Commissioner. And then we also have the Food Authority, again coming from the different ministries, and also it comprises mainly from the central and also from the state. So this is how the enforcement structure in FSSAI. We have the Chief Executive Officer. So in New Delhi, FSSAI is more dealing with policy, making the rules, regulations, how effective we can regulate and bring safe food in the market. The recent one, if you remember, in October when we gave the regulation for best before date for sweets, if it has to be displayed in the Indian sweet shop. So all such kind of policies are made in the center. Of course, we also issue the central license. There are certain conditions, like if the turnover of the business manufacturer is over 20 crore, or if he is operating, if the manufacturer is operating is in more than one state, then they can opt for the central license. But otherwise, most of the enforcement below 12 lakhs, below 20 crores, sorry, are entrusted with the State Food Commissioner, Joint Commissioner, and in the district it is the DO, and the lowest level is the Food Safety Officer, who does the inspection, monitoring of the food business operators, including restaurants and retail shops, etc. We also have labs. In fact, CIFT is one of the referral lab specialized in the fish products. NDDB, which is for the milk. So likewise, we have identified different labs. Also, we have notified under the Gazette different labs, and it is mandatory that each lab should have a food analyst. They have to pass the exam and do the analysis of food testing. So all this educating things are mostly coming under the law. In case if there is a dispute, if the FBO wants to make a dispute, then this educating officer and all will be coming. So in FSSAI, we have defined different food categories like, one, dairy products, fats, edible life. You can see all these things in the website, also in our book. Just to show you how we have grouped the different food products. And then we also have, you can see item number 17, those products which are not covered from 1 to 6. So we have given a lot of space which have not been added for direct consumption as food. So who are the stakeholders? We have the research laboratories, as Ravi Shankar sir was telling. So they are the research institutions. So we also work with the regulators. We also work with other government agencies, especially from the Ministry of Commerce, like EPEDA, MPEDA, EIC. Consumers are directly linked to us, farmer organization from the Ministry of Agriculture, and of course the industry, which are the FBOs, which are considered as the food business operators. Now that is something about the FSSAI. Now coming to the theme, we were discussing what are the challenges if we take unsafe food. Either in any food, there is a very famous old saying: "Let the food be thy medicine." That means if we eat the right kind of food, we don't require the medicine. Unfortunately, anything excess or anything deficient will create all this problem. So we'll see what are the challenges. So nutrition is a very critical part for our health and development, and better nutrition has been associated right from the infancy to childhood to adulthood and all those things. And in this COVID times, we are more emphasizing on strong immune system. You eat Nelikya, vitamin C. There are many suggestions you might have seen in the WhatsApp floating around. So definitely nutrition gives a stronger immune system. It can also lead to good pregnancy, childbirth, lower risk of non-communicable diseases, and a good life and a long life. What is malnutrition? It is not anything deficient, but also the excess or imbalance in a person's intake of nutrient or energy which comes through food can be considered as a malnutrition. And undernutrition, like stunting, which is low height for the age, or wasting, which is low weight for the height, underweight, micronutrient deficiencies. So these are all comes under the undernutrition. Overweight, obesity, diet-related non-communicable diseases are again, something which when someone is overfed, I would say more related to fats. Cancer and all can be attributed to the residues, some pesticide residue, it gets accumulated, or heavy. Also factors which contribute for the non-communicable disease. So the World Health Organization has, it is causing a double burden of malnutrition, especially the wasting, stunting, micronutrient deficiencies, along with the overweight and obesity. And you can see the point 2, which is related to these 3 diseases. One is the heart, stroke and all. The second symbol is for the cancer, and the third symbol is for the diabetes. So all these 3 are diet-related non-communicable diseases, and it is affecting the entire, nation. It's not confined to individuals. It is, spreading across to the household population, because it has been identified that it has, it is very much related to the diet, and it is there right from the start till the old age. We have the protein and energy, malnutrition, marasmus. In nutshell, it is the lack of protein and the energy which prevent the growth, and it causes 49% of 10.4 million death occurring in the children younger than 5 years in the developing country. While carnivore core is the lack of protein, and the sickness generally comes in the older child when the next. And one of the characteristic of this particular disease is the bloated belly. In fact, the next slide will indicate what is the difference between these two marasmus and Kashiwo diseases, how you can differentiate. So, definitely children are one of the vulnerable, segment, and child malnutrition has been is very. You can see some of the statistical figure. 144 million are affected in the stunting, 47 million are affected in the wasting, and 38 million are in the overweight. So four major public health concerns, again, are related to the iron deficiency, iodine deficiency, vitamin A, vitamin D. In fact, in COVID times, a lot of stress were given on vitamin D. But other than that, vitamin D, like rickets or bending of legs or, weakening the bones. Vitamin A leads to night blindness, iron deficiency, anemia. Iodine also is a problem for goiter and all. So some of the statistics that has been indicated. These are all quite recent statistics. Close to 58%, over 58% children are between 6 to 59 months are anemic. 35% are underweight. 22% are of men are anemic, and 53% of women are also anemic in nature. Diabetes from the other side is on rise. Now every in 11%, when you pick one, one of the person happens to be a diabetic person. So and it is a concern because close to 1.5 million deaths are caused by the diabetes. It starts with the disease, and if it goes beyond, then it affects other organs like eyes, especially eyes, and other, and then it can cause death to the individual. There are two types of diabetes, type 1, type 2. Mainly here, type 2 is very common. The body produces the insulin, but it cannot use it well. Then the type 1 is that the body does not even produce the enough insulin. Even in children also, you can see the prevalence of diabetes. And then there is during the pregnancy also gestational diabetes has been noticed. So you can see how the diabetes is affecting different parts. It leads to other, it complements heart attack, kidney failure, amputation of leg, etc. The risk factors for the type 2 diabetes again come from the unhealthy diet, inactivity, physical inactivity, no work, sedentary. So 1 in 10 is obese. In fact, now due to the lockdown, many people are encouraging to do some physical activity, at least at home, so that you don't live a sedentary life, and instead of COVID, you happen to get the other lifestyle diseases. So what is our key action? Our key action should be to eat healthy, physically active, avoid excessive weight gain, check the glucose level from time to time, and follow what is prescribed by the doctor. Cancer is another, challenge. You can see the statistics. Mainly the lung, the breast, colorectal, the intestinal, prostate, and stomach cancer are quite prevalent. And with respect to the mortality, lung cancer is higher when compared to the other cancers. So again, mainly due to the intake of tobacco, high consumption of salt, high blood pressure. These are some of the factors for the cardiovascular crisis. Close to 7.7 million lives, are being lost. So this is considered as the biggest killer. So we have to, I said, all these diseases, they complement each other, especially the diabetes and the heart. They complement each other. and it is one of the outcome because of the disease. So how we can reduce the cardiovascular diseases again through smoke, avoiding the smoke, doing good physical activity, healthy diets. There are living examples, people like innocent actor, he could survive the cancer. Uh, so it is the willpower, I would say, and followed by healthy diet. All these lifestyle diseases, what I had shown here, can be avoided. Of course, some comes through genetics, like diabetes, but again, using when you do a real thorough, rigorous habit that you follow, a good food habit, then definitely you can avoid such diseases. Obesity is another challenge. You can see the statistics. It has increased. In 2010, the global level was 4.9. Now it is in 2025. It is expected 10.5 percentage, which is equal to 205.5 million people. So what are the causes of obesity? Too much of eating, then genetics also plays a role, then stress, then sometimes certain medication that also happens, poor sleep, hormonal imbalance, and consequences. Again, all these diseases, what I was telling, are interrelated. So heart disease, diabetes, kidneys, fatty liver, they are all you can expect if you are obese in nature. So how FSSAI, is in action for promoting safe food. It's not only we do the regulatory work, we have a lot of initiatives. I'll touch upon, the triple burden of malnutrition. We already discussed this, and from the global hunger index, India is, not up to the mark. It is, close to, out of 117, our rank is 102. So definitely, in terms of undernutrition, or many people, they don't get food. In fact, if you go into the remote corners of Orissa, in some districts like Kalahandi and things, I have seen, since I had studied there, that people, they die because of hunger. So this is one of the very big challenge. Uh, and then the micronutrient malnutrition, again, 70% of the Indian population are consuming what is less than the recommended dietary allowances that has been prescribed. And then 30 million Indians are obese. This is again one of the challenges. The health challenges we already discussed, and attribute that to the unhealthy diet, mainly due to the physical inactivity, alcohol abuse, tobacco use, etc. So what FSSA has come with the initiative of Eat Right India, you can see the tagline, Sahi Bhojan Behtar Jeevan, which is right food can lead to a good life. So this is the motto of the Eat Right movement. Embarked on a large-scale effort to transform the country's food system, mainly to, ensure safe, healthy, and sustainable food for all Indians. And that is how, there were few years back, we had the cycle yatra. Now we are going to introduce walkathon. There are eat right challenges across all the districts. So we are creating awareness, in the public to eat the right food. And this has been aligned to the National Health Policy of 2017, like Ayushman Bharat, Poshan Abhiyan, Anemic Mukt Bharat, Swachh Bharat Mission. So all these things are also part of the Eat Right India movement. So what are the three key key themes of this Eat Right is to eat safe, eat healthy, and eat sustainable. In fact, what Dr. James had said, we should promote local and seasonal food that, like kappa, kachil, and which can also, in one way, can prevent the food loss and food waste, and at the same time can give a good food for a healthy for a healthy living. See, when we see the Eat Right, we also, you might have seen this particular logo where we encourage, we have created a plate. So we encourage a lot of water to be taken when you should consume. This is the right diet. Fruits and vegetables and cereals and pulses and a bit of drink with high fat or sugar, milk product and fish product. So this mainly, it is giving, is having a bit of fat, more of carbohydrate and proteins. As if you can see, 1 gram of fat can give 9 kilocalories compared to, it is twice that of protein as well as carbohydrate, which gives 4 kilocalories per 1 gram. So we again have, HFSS reduce, high fat, sugar intake, salt intake in processed foods. Probably one order had come some months back that a regulation came that there should not be any junk foods in the school premises or I don't know college, but school premises. It should be within certain kilometer or certain meter. This should not happen to come, mainly because we want to save lives. They should not come into the lifestyle diseases, so that can be avoided. And our focus, in fact, on high fat is on the saturated fat, trans fat, then added sugar, added salt, because all these things have been linked to the diseases which I discussed in the past few slides. Then this is again, we also roped in Rajkumar Rao, who is a Bollywood actor, in many of the cinema theaters before the movie. Now in COVID, but active campaigning was done. Aaj se thoda kam, where the intake, the message was to reduce the fat, salt, and sugar, and mainly to encourage the consumer to gradually decrease. You cannot decrease all of a sudden. It has to be a habit, a good habit, and gradually. You start with 10, then next day you go with 9, 8 in a gradual way. You can minimize it to maybe 0 or maybe very less. So this is what the Eat Right movement, Aaj se thoda kam, which FSSAI always tell the people, mainly focusing on all this: monitor, measure, avoid, reduce, replace, and also have a limit. You should not put anything excess. Then food fortification is another key area which FSSAI, you might have seen the plus F mark. Mainly, wherever the micronutrients are deficient, like iron, zinc, iodine, vitamin A, D, which can be fortified with atta, with rice, with oil, so that the deficiencies can be taken away. And the standards for the fortification of staples, what we eat, have been recently operationalized and implemented by the FSSAI. And currently, FSSAI is also working on the standards for the packaged food, such as biscuit, curd, bread, etc. So we also, created a center within the headquarters, which is called as FFRC, which was, the Bill Gates, the Microsoft founder and CEO, then had visited, and the FFRC was launched with the aim to fortify, to improve the nutritional quality with minimum risk to the health. So what I was telling, the plus F, in fortified milk and oil, that has is there. The fortification has already been started, and then for the fortified rice, wheat flour, then double fortified salt, mainly iron and iodine, that has been incorporated in the salt. Then we also, have come up with many good initiatives like integrated child development service in association with the Women and Child Development Ministry. the midday meal scheme, again with the Department of School Education and Literacy, then the public distribution system, which is coming under the Ministry of Commerce and Consumer Affairs, especially for the fortification of rice. Focus is on iron and vitamin B12, mainly the vitamin Bs. Trans fat free, again, one of the key agenda of FSSAI, where India will, by 2022, India will be 75 years, will be celebrating the independence. So we are encouraging even the food business operators not to introduce trans fat, because they are the source of this very low density lipoprotein, VLDL or LDL, and it also lowers the high cholesterol, I mean HDL, the high density lipoprotein in our body. So trans fat is again linked to the heart disease, overweight, things like that, and especially industrial trans fat is a major problem where the hydrogenation is being yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. We are running out of time.
Okay, I'll finish in just 2 minutes. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
The present, especially this hydrogenated vegetable fat, like the vanaspati, margarine, bakery shortening. In Kerala, again, it has been discussed many times. The bakery puffs and this thing, they are using a lot of hydrogenated fat. So those things, FSSAI is coming with new regulations, new initiatives, with the message that we should be free by 2022 from the trans fat and make India a trans fat free country. Again, the message is, to reduce the acceptability of industrially produced trans fat, build public support, and creating a lot of consumer awareness. Again, this is some of the slides how we create consumer awareness. We always we have the Twitter, the Facebook page, through which we educate the consumers to go through all these guidelines. How we can, we also educate, like while cooking at home, you should avoid vanaspati, don't reheat the oil or reuse the same oil, or use some smaller vessel which can do the deep frying. Limit the quantity of oil. The message is to limit the quantity of oil. Or when you're shopping for the grocery, check for the nutritional fact, or look for the words like trans fatty acids or trans fat, and avoid buying such thing. Or when you're eating from outside or in a restaurant, again, see what kind of oil are they using. If it is prepared from vanaspati, then it can be avoided. Or some, fried food like samosa, batura, chole bature, French fries, which have been cooked in not a good oil in vanaspati, they can be avoided. So Eat Right is also being supported by the food business. It's a movement, I would say. We have roped in bakery association, chefs, individual, things to support the initiative of Eat Right. So I would say the message is Har Jeevan Ko Poshan Se Roshan. That means every life, you should have a good portion is a thali, and it should be a balanced diet. So this is my healthy plate, which I should eat time and again. And with this, we will get all the good protein, iron, calcium, carbohydrate, fiber, vitamins, etc. So not taking much time. So thanks very much for this opportunity. I hope I could educate the students and justify my presentation. Thank you all once again.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sanu, for the very good presentation on the food safety aspects, which the FSSA is leading on the several regulations FSSA has put forth, especially on used cooking oil. You have mentioned And another aspect is the BOG certificate, that is to ensure the safety of temple prasad.
In Temple Prasad and yeah, there are initiative like Bhog, Ruko is there, which is reused, oil. The oil which has been reused will be collected, will be will be collected, and then it will be used as a source of biodiesel. So there are a lot of initiative. If you happen to visit the website, you will find all the details.
Okay, thank you very much. And participants, if you have posted any question in the chat box, Dr. Ramya, please read out. You can answer probably one or two or 11 questions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are happy to welcome you, sir, Nambudri, sir. Sir, my request to you is that as we are running out of time, we may actually introduce the next speaker. And one question is from Mr. Unnikrishnan. So I request Mr. Unnikrishnan to mail his question to the mail ID of respected speaker, Dr. Sanu. It is been inboxed by James, sir. So, with your permission, Nambudri sir, may we move on to the next speaker?
Okay. We have Dr. KP Sudhir as the next speaker. Dr. Sudhir is IT and National Fellow. Currently, he is Associate of Research in the Kerala Agriculture University, and he is a good friend of mine. Welcome, Dr. Sudhir, and I request Dr. Ramya to introduce Dr. Sudhir.
Thank you, sir. Professor Dr. KP Sudhir is presently working as Associate Director of Research in Kerala Agricultural University. He is also heading the Department of Agricultural Engineering and Center for Excellence in Post-Harvest Technology, College of Horticulture, Vellanikara, Kerala Agricultural University. Professor Sudhir is a recipient of prestigious Norman E. Borlaug Fellowship by United States Department of Agriculture, apart from various other awards, and has 300 publications to his credit. I am happy to invite Professor Dr. KP Sudhir to present his topic on Food Safety Management System, a PRP approach. Over to Dr. Sudhir.
Thank you, Dr. Nambudri sir and Dr. Ramya for introducing me. And I'm happy to see my friend Sanu over here and my guru, Dr. Ravishankar sir was here, okay, and Father, all the organizers, okay, and thank once again for inviting Kerala Agricultural University representative to share the thoughts in this World Food Day program organized by your college and also the AFST Cochin chapter. So, of course, the food safety aspects and theme of World Food Day is already being shared by the inaugural speaker as well as my great friend, Dr. Sanu Jacob. So I think without much introduction, because as we have to stick on to the timing, and also every one of these participants, I know everyone has got a number of programs today, so we need to stick on to the timing. So I directly straight away go to the presentation. So let me share my slides. Please raise your hand whether it is coming or not. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's
Yes,
coming.
sir.
Okay, because I can't see no more. That is why, please. Okay, then thank you again, organizers, for inviting me to deliver a small session. Okay. So, as we all know, the theme is very clear of the World Food Day and sustainability. But sustainability has to come from it has to start from the field. Okay, that is what we are going to share today. So this food safety management system, a PRP approach, because we all know that GAP and GMP is HACCP, FSMS, it is common terms in the food technology society or food processing industries also. It is not a new term for our group. But when we are talking about this, most if it is HACCP, we will go with the principles. If it is GAP, then we will go with the good quality inputs, raw material, and all. So the building blocks of FSMS, we must say that is a PRP, prerequisite program. So we will today, my session will be focusing on the a pre-RP approach, means prerequisite program approach, and that is my topic today. And the theme I'm not going to detail now because already my friend has explained pretty well. That means grow, nourish, sustain together. That means the sustainability actually build upon actually based on the good agriculture practices. Okay, and also the good agriculture practices. When we are talking about the good agriculture practices, always we are talking about only good quality water, good quality seed material, good quality fertilizer. Okay, something beyond that, and that is why the World Food Day program, the theme is actually towards sustainability. So I will come to that one because intro is not required. I think I can skip this slide because we all know the importance of food safety and the quality because that is a major concern of the individuals now. The consumers are more focused towards food safety and quality, unlike just producing the bulk. Okay, people are going for the quality, and means the quantity has been shifted to the quality aspects. Okay, so producing good quality material for the creation of a healthy society, that is the importance. Okay, then only, that only will be sustainable. So we will see, and in the entire supply chain, how we can retain or sustain this food safety aspects. So we know the statistics, okay, in the nearly more than 10 crops, we are in first rank and almost 19 crops, we are in second. But though we are self-sufficient in the production and productivity in most of the cases, that means nearly altogether, if you're taking the first rank and second rank crops, almost nearly 30-35 crops, we are first or second rank in most of the commodities if you're taking the world over in the world statistics, but our share in the world market is very negligible. So this is mainly because of the unscientific means low for the want of raw material quality. Okay, that means unscientific application of the basic inputs, then poor post-harvest management, post-harvest handling practices, then overdosage of fertilizer, chemicals, improper storage practices. All this are the basic reason. And finally, when it comes to the industrial side, of course, unhygienic processing is also coming into picture. But if only because of the hygienic processing will not enhance the quality of the product, it starts in the field. That is why you can see in the screen, the food safety begins on the farm. So on the farm means it has to start with the good agriculture practices. So the safety aspects to this group again, the biological, chemical, and physical hazards. I'm not going to detail because this also everyone knows what are the biological hazards, what are the chemical hazards, and what are the physical hazards. So my straight away, because a shortage of time, I'm straight away going to the PRP approach. So the challenges what we are facing in our country, because I told you that we are in first or second in almost 30-35 crops, and our world market share is negligible. So these are the challenges which we are facing. That is mainly because of the lack of good agriculture practices and good manufacturing practices and good hygienic practices and poor infrastructure facilities, the marketing system, then policy and regulatory and environment that means it's pretty weak. But definitely because FSSAI is enforcing strict complaints and all, it's booming up in a better way, but still that does not come in state of art has yet to come into picture. And then smallholder agriculture, that is another major lacuna in our country. Then weak extension system, those agriculture universities, SAUs, ICR system, ministry, everyone is taking effort for the strong extension system, but still, it has not penetrated into the weaker section or even bottom portion line of our society, that is the farmer group. So that is again a strengthening of the section system is required. I need more collaborative action that focus already, my friend has already mentioned in the previous session. So starting from the good agricultural practices, that means it has to start on field. So if whenever we're talking about good agricultural practices, okay, we always focus about the good quality material, good quality raw material, fertilizer, irrigation, and all. We the as as per the definition, you can see in the definition, if it addresses the environmental, economical, and social sustainability. Yes, see, it is the theme of our FAO, means this World Food Day. That means sustainability will come only if we are doing the good agricultural practices, only with the good quality raw material will not come. We have to see the environmental, economical, and social sustainability is an essential. So this is already envisaged in the good agricultural practices. So this is very important. The labor's economic and the labor's nutrition security and the social sustainability, everything is a part of good agricultural practices. Okay, this is as per the definition that is also embedded in that one. But people always forget about these three aspects. We always talk about good quality raw material or good quality inputs, but this is also an input, a long-term input to the society. Then good manufacturing practices. Okay, I'm skipping this section also because good manufacturing practices, everyone knows that means this 6 point, that means the personal, plant grounds and sanitary operations and sanitary facilities and control, equipment and utensils and processes and controls. This includes the good manufacturing. But what my topic is actually different. That means the building blocks of FSMS, food safety management system, is basically the prerequisite program. So we will be dealing straight away. We are going to that prerequisite program. So what is this prerequisite program? So we can see the definition of prerequisite program. Prerequisite program, or PRP in short, can be defined as each and every specific and documented activity that are necessary for the production and processing of safe foods in in the stages of food supply chain. So any food supply chain, in the entire food supply chain, any documented activity, okay, any activity that has got a in the production supply chain or in the processing line, if it has got a role, definitely that has to be documented, and we should have a protocol, specifically procedure or protocol for that one. So we will see one by one. So we have reduced the number, because number of PRPs are there. So but we have taken effort to reduce these PRPs to 14 numbers, so that it will be ideal for any stakeholder, whether he is a part of certification agency, whether he is a part of HSCCP team, or whether if he is a part of industry, whether it is a student of food technology or food processing, it will be easy to identify these PRPs. Once these 14 PRPs are in place, definitely we can clear the FSMS or the HSCCP certification of the food industry. So now we will see what is this, what the 14 PRPs. So you can see that if you can list the 14 PRPs, the PRP number one is the cleaning and disinfection. Okay, that means when we are talking about the cleaning and disinfection, you should see what is the cleaning agent, whether it is safe or not, on what frequency we are cleaning that or disinfect that our industry, what are the chemicals we are using, how where we are keeping it, whether we are keeping it a logbook of this one, who is cleaning it and who is responsible, what is the frequency, and how, whether it is documented or not. Okay, and a record keeping of this cleaning and disinfection data. So entire things or the protocol for all these aspects should be find a place in the PRP number one. Next PRP is PRP number two, that is pest control. Again, in the pest control, what type of mechanism we are using the pest control within industry, outside our premises, and who is responsible, whether it is documented or not. Okay, so that is second PRP. And third PRP is water and air quality. We all know that the importance of air and water quality, which is used in the industry. So the water quality should be safe, and what is the source of water, how often we are checking the quality of the water, who is responsible for this one, who is supervising this one, whether it is documented. Similarly, in the case of air also, we have to check the exhaust fans, we have to clean it on a regular interval, and who is responsible for that and who is monitoring. So entire protocol for the air and water quality analysis. So that is the PRP number three. Then PRP number four is temperature control and registration. How often we are controlling the temperature of the food processing line, whether it is pasteurization, whether we are checking it, and how often we are doing it. So all these things, okay, that is coming under the temperature control, and whether we are registering it or not in a frequent interval, okay, who is responsible and who is supervising it and record keeping. So this all together coming the PRP number 4. PRP number 5 is personnel. Of course, this is a part of GMP also. But in turn, if the PRP 14 PRPs are we enforce, then definitely we don't have to bother about GMP, because GMP is a subset of this PRP 14 PRPs. So if PRP 14s are in place, definitely GNPs are already through. So PRP number 5 is very clear. I think personal means our personal hygiene, then wearing of the caps, then our jewelry, all these things are coming under the personal aspects. Then PRP number 6 is structure and infrastructure. That is very important point under the structure and infrastructure. Infrastructure is a clear demarcation between the low care area and high care area, or low risk area and high risk area. What is this the low risk area and high care area? Because for example, in the case of a food processing plant, the reception, dumping, then cleaning, grading, those things coming under the low risk area, whereas the high care risk area, once the product is peeled, then that will come to the high risk area. Okay, so that is very important, because we need to avoid the cross entry of the labors from one session to the other session. So we need to think about all these things. Okay, like clear separation, physical separation, as well as like infrastructure, facility wise also we need to separate these two structure, and that is coming under the PRP number 6. PRP number 7 is the technical maintenance and calibration. Each and every gadgets in the industry, in the food industry, for example, we are using a thermometer, whether we are using a pressure gauge, whether we are using an electronic balance, all these equipments, the gadgets has to be technically calibration and maintenance and calibration of these gadgets are essential. Otherwise, thing is that if a cold chamber is showing, for example, 7 degrees centigrade, and finally it might have gone to some 0 degrees centigrade, then it can happen chilling injury. So cleaning is very important. I mean, maintenance and calibration is very important, and that is PRP number 7. PRP number 8 is actually waste management. The structure, what is the facility you are using for waste management? What is the infrastructure we have given for the waste management? Methodology we are, and who is responsible for the waste disposal? And is it safe? Whether it is environmental safe? All these things are coming under PRP number 8 for any food industry. PRP number 9 is the control of raw material. As we all know very well that we cannot control the quality of the raw material one after receiving in the reception stage. For example, trucks, a number of trucks will be coming in the industry, and we cannot tell that, okay, you stop and let me take the sample and let us do the microbial analysis and let us do the residual analysis and all. It is not possible. So that is we need to have a MOU with raw material suppliers, or we need to have a contract farming kind of. That is why the government of India is also promoting the contract farming and all, because a big food industry can always have an MOU with a big group. That is why the importance of FPO creation is also coming into picture. Okay, so all these things are connected actually to help or to protect the farmers' rights. Okay, the MOU or a memorandum of understanding is possible only with equals, isn't it? With a 1 acre land farmer or 10 cents of a farmer cannot keep a MOU with a big player or a big industry. So that is why the importance of FPO is coming, importance of contract farming is coming. So this has to be, there should be an MOU between the supplier as well as the industry. Then only we can avoid the number of analysis at the reception stage, okay? And that can reduce the delay in the intake of the raw material at the reception stage also. So the control of the raw material is very important, and we should have an MOU or contract coming for that one. That is the PRP number 9. Prerequisite number PRP 10 is actually traceability, recall, and goods returned and rejections. So we all know the importance of traceability. Once we are taking a product from the mall, we must be able to trace back the origin. That means we must be able to trace back the origin of that product. That means we must be able to trace back the farmer, how he has produced it, whether he has used the good agriculture practices or not, whether he has used some insecticide or pesticide or not. So that shows the traceability. So the ability to trace back the origin, actually, if that is there, definitely the consumers will be happy to consume the product. So the traceability, and also if something happens, because all of us are means human being, because something went wrong, something can went wrong at any time. So what is the provision for the recalling this product? Okay, that is very important. So recalling, traceability, everything. What is the document evidence we are keeping it? How we are going to trace it back? What is the procedure for recalling it, and what is the provision for destroying the goods returned? So all these things has to be documented under PRP number 10. PRP number 11 is allergen policy. Okay, we all know that the allergens, okay, milk or meat, our nuts or egg, and all. If we are using such an allergen in a food product, that allergen has to be labeled, and also there must be a provision for how we are going to separate that allergen policy. That is very important. Okay, so how and the cleaning procedure. If you're using if at all, if you are using one allergen, then what is the policy of separating it out, or how we are going to remove that after effect of that allergen after the next, before the next processing line? That's very important. So that has to be in place, or that procedure protocol has to be put in place in the under the PRP number 11. PRP number 12 is physical and chemical contamination. That means what are the possibilities of the physical contamination and what are the possibilities of chemical contamination, and how we are analyzing it, and who is responsible for this, and how we are documenting it. Okay, that is PRP number 12. And PRP number 13 is the management of product information. That is nothing but if the entire process protocol, how to use it, it has to be mentioned on the packet. What is the weight, and what is the if you are using some allergens, all these things has to be and how it has to be stored at the consumer's premises. Everything has to be mentioned within the packet. Okay, that is the product management information, and that has to be documented in the industries also. Okay, for each product, what all the things has to be written on the packet, that has to be mentioned. That is PRP number 13. And PRP number 14, that is the last one, that is work methodology. Okay, that's very important, because otherwise, in prerequisite programs, you may think that it is only thinking about, just like our good agriculture practices, thinking that it is only just using good quality raw material, good quality water, good quality fertilizer, and all. Similarly, in prerequisite programs or good manufacturing practices, we may think that it's only about the good style of work methodology. Okay, work methodology comes to play only at the last. That means that is why just I want to show that one. If everything is okay, the work methodology will naturally, it will come. In work methodology, we will be looking only the duration time, because that is also very important. For example, if it is a pasteurization, we will see the methodological part is correct or not, whether we are used the pressure, whether we are used temperature, and the process timing. So that is very important. So that is the work methodology. So we have to see the work methodology, and that has to be documented for each and every product. So that is PRP number 14. So this is in short from PRP number 1 to 14. Just to make it clear, I will just go through 14 slides to show in pictorial manner, so that it will in print with you. That is the PRP number 1 is cleaning and disinfection. You can see the cleaning and disinfection picture. You just store in your memory. So that is PRP number 1. And PRP number 2 is pest control. I hope you remember pest control and who is responsible and what is the mechanism for removing the pest control within the industry and outside the industry. And PRP number 3 is water and air quality, and both air and quality has to be checked thoroughly, and the inlet, outlet, exhaust of the industry has to be checked on a frequent interval, and it has to be documented. Temperature control and registration. Temperature is very important. It's storage rooms and well, the processing also. And otherwise, we can you know very well that chilling injury can occur, freezing injury can occur. Okay, optimum storage temperature concept is coming here, and whether it is for ripening or storage, very important. So this is coming under PRP number 4. PRP number 5 is the personal hygiene, okay, and this is cleaning, and the importance of cleaning for 20 seconds, cleaning with soap, detergents, or soap solution. And in these corona days, I think it is very clear if it is a healthy man or a healthy woman worker or male worker, it is invariably everyone has to clean their hands with cleaning means our hands with 20 seconds for a 20-second duration, okay? And other things, we all know, head cap, then jewelry, personal hygiene. If you have any health issues, you have to be away from the food industry line. So those things are coming under the personal hygiene. And but six, I told the important point is PRP number six. It is separation of the low risk area and high care area. Okay, and all other things, the location and surrounding area is very important. Proximity of the potential sources of contamination, sufficiency of quality of water supply, disposal of water supply, this disposal of the waste removal. All these things are coming under the structure and infrastructure. But you may think that PRP number 8 is exclusively on waste disposal management. Okay, but the provision for the waste disposal infrastructure has to be provided as part of PRP number 6. Okay, that is the a slight confusion. That is why I'm telling you waste water removal or waste providing infrastructure has to be provided. It is a part of PRP number 6. Okay, but PRP number 8, okay, that is yet to come, I will explain. And PRP number 7 is the technical and maintenance and calibration. I told you each and every gadgets of equipments or gadgets in working in industry has to be maintenance, technical maintenance has to be done, and also the calibration has to be done on a frequent interval. And waste management, okay, this is PRP number 8 exclusively. Who is responsible? What is the methodology of waste management? This is coming under the waste management, okay. But the infrastructure facility for the waste management has to be, it is part of PRP number 6. I hope it is clear. And PRP number 9 was raw material control. Okay, raw material control means mainly the purchase policy. Okay, what is the quality of the raw material inputs and whether we are using a MOU, memorandum of understanding with the suppliers and all, or the reception stage checking, what methods of checking we are. What are the items like moisture content of TSS, what at the reception, what are we doing at the field, what are we doing? So those things are coming under the part of PRP number 9. PRP number 10 is the traceability, the ability to trace back. Okay, that's very important. And also the recall procedure and what we are going to do with the return goods. That is also safe disposal of the return goods is also very important for any industry. Okay, so that is PRP number 10. PRP number 11 is allergens, and the company should have a clear allergen policy. Okay, how they are going to separate out this allergen, if at all, because we all know that these allergens are allergen parts, feed materials, are inevitable part of the food products. Okay, but if you're using a milk, how it has to be labeled. Okay, after using milk or egg, and if you're using an means non-allergic product, then a thorough cleaning has to be there for the industry. So what mechanism we are using it for this cross contamination, how the compliance of the allergy control, those things has to be documented. Okay, in means that recording of that is very important. And PRP number 12, there are two clauses, that means just like air and quality control in the initial PRP. And here the PRP number 12 contains 2 points. One is physical and chemical contamination. We have to list the physical and chemical contamination and what is the procedure adopted for this one, and what is the limits for the critical limits for this one, and how we are monitoring it, and how frequency we are doing it, who is responsible, who is supervising, whether it is documented or not, what is the mechanism for documentation. So everything has to be mentioned under PRP number 12. PRP number 13 is the product management. Okay, product management information. What are the items to be mentioned on the cover of the packet or the food product, and that has to be documented. Okay, and again, it's response when we are changing a product line or we are changing a new product, and it's and what is the mechanism adopted for this thing, that has to be documented. And the last one, work methodology, and it's very important because we know for any processing, whether it is freezing, what is the temperature of freezing, whether we are doing a blanching, and for that blanching, what is the duration, what is the duration. So all this temperature and duration is very important. What is the methodology adopted for blanching and then freezing? So then after that, storage. So the entire work methodology mainly adopted for the plant is very important. Okay. Apart from that, we should have a protocol for avoiding the contamination of that means extra contamination into the products and machinery. Okay. So these things are very important in the product. What are the methodology we are going to adopt in the food industry to avoid the contamination to the process line, okay, to maintain it a hygienic way and to achieve a constant quality. And those things are the ultimate aim of the work methodology PRP. So in short, these are the 14 building blocks for food safety management system. So if all these things are in picture, okay, in place, put in place, definitely our industry is going to get even HACCP. Okay, so if only thing is that be a food technology expert, be a food industry expert, food processing expert, be a part of a professional part of HACCP. If these 14 points are in with you, definitely you are through. Okay, and when you are when you are part of a HACCP also, this 14 PRP you should remember. And if you are visiting, if during the transact walk or during the industry visit also, if you are remembering all these 14 PRPs in your mind, you can ask your questions to the industrial expert. If you are an owner of an industry, you just see what are the measures you are adopted for this control of this 14 PRP. That is more than sufficient. So we are giving training program in our agribusiness incubation facility of Kerala Agriculture University. In all these aspects, food safety is one of the major concern we are dealing, and our agribusiness incubation center of Kerala Agriculture University is focused on imparting training programs on food safety. So apart from the food safety capacity building on food safety aspects, we are also giving training program on the novel food processing technologies and packaging, marketing, and also any of the experts who are listening to this seminar or the webinar, definitely you can come and visit our agribusiness incubation facility, and you can be part of our business incubation facility. And we have facilities for the novel processing technologies like vacuum frying, then retort pouch packaging, then vacuum impregnation facility, micro encapsulation, twin screw extraction facility, homogenization, carbonation of juice plant facility, then rotary oven facility, ready to eat or ready to cook products, mini rice mill, means whatnot. We have almost all facilities for the a budding entrepreneur who can come and utilize our facility. Okay, so all the budding entrepreneurs who are listening to this one, for getting any expertise in the field of food technology or food processing or food safety or hygienic management, you are welcome. And to impart these things, actually, we have written 2 textbooks also, that is entrepreneurship and skill development in horticulture processing and entrepreneurship and development in food processing. Okay, and again, a contribution of the experts in all over India from different SAUs and ICR Institute. Okay, and many have contributed into this book. And now, presently, on this topic, that means on food safety and supply chain, again, another group of experts in all over India have contributed to 2 textbooks, and that is we are going to release in this year itself, and it will be published soon. That is food quality supply chain in a farm to fork approach, and soon you can expect that one. And definitely keep it in touch with us, and we will be informing the updates of the release of those 2 books related to this webinar. Okay, so if you are interested for this book, definitely you can go online and you can get it, or you can contact me. So with this and the importance of this World Food Day theme, you know, that is grow, nourish, and sustain together. The sustenance will come if we are starting from the field. Okay, we must have a concern of the farmer, how he is producing it. So the economic security, nutrition security of the farmer is very important. If the farmer who is working in the field is socially, economically, and nutritionally secure, then only the consumer will get a good quality food. Okay, so that is actually affecting the quality of the product, and that is why you can see the product. The theme of this World Food Day is grow, nourish, and sustain together. Okay, inclusiveness is important. Everyone has to be taken care, and that is why we have to move the society together and by an inclusive approach. So thank you once again for inviting me to the session on webinar, and thank once again for the organizers for choosing me as one of the speakers. And thank you once again on behalf of Kerala Agriculture University. I'm happy to share the technologies available with Kerala Agriculture University at any time. You can be in touch with the Agribusiness Incubation Facility of Kerala Agriculture University. I will give you my mobile number and email ID in the chat box. And Namburi sir, please, sorry, I may not be able to continue for a long time, but I will be there for a few minutes because I have to address another session after some time. So thank you, Ramya and Nambudiri sir, and also Father for inviting me, and each and every participants, and all the best. If you have any question, definitely you can put in the chat box, and you can contact with the email ID. I will give you my email ID as well as my WhatsApp number. Thank you once again. Bye bye.
That was Dr. K.P. Sudhir. He mainly on the prerequisite programs maintain a hygienic environment throughout the food chain, mainly for handling and safe food for human consumption. As he has rightly pointed out, he is in charge of the agri-business incubator of the Kerala Agriculture University. All budding young entrepreneurs can contact Dr. K.P. Sudhir for any assistance support. Thank you, Dr. Sudhir. And Dr. Ramya, if we have time for questions, you can put up the questions.
I think, sir, we are again running short of time.
Yes.
With your permission,
Yes.
maybe
They can ask. Yes, they can ask your question and send the email into my email address. Okay.
Okay, sir, that will be fine. So thank you very much, Sudhi sir. We are moving on to the next resource person, Dr. Binod Parameshwaran. Dr. Binod Parameshwaran is currently working as a scientist in the Microbial Processes and Technology Division of CSIR National Institute for Interdisciplinary Science and Technology, Trivandrum, India. He is a recipient of several awards and fellowships, including Young Scientist Award from International Forum on Industrial Bioprocesses, France, and Kerala State Young Scientist Award from Kerala State Council for Science, Technology and Environment. I heartily welcome Dr. Binod Parameshwaran to present his topic on microbial enzymes in food industries, process development and applications. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ramya. I think, am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Ramya, for the nice introduction. And at the outset, I would like to thank Professor D.D. Nambudiri, Dr. James, and Dr. Gino for giving me this opportunity to present before you. And it is really a very nice moment for me to interact with all of you, especially the students on this World Food Day. So let me share my slide. Is the slide visible now?
Yes, sir, it's coming. It's not visible now, but
Yeah.
yes, sir, it is visible. Yes, sir.
So today I am going to talk about the microbial enzymes, which many of the industries are now using.
Excuse me, sir. It's loading only.
Yeah.
Sir, it's been in slide mode.
Yeah, I have put. Yeah, I have put it in slide mode. Presentation.
Sir, can you close it and do it once more?
Is it okay right now? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So today I'm going to talk about the microbial enzymes that are used in food industries, and especially I will be first touch upon the application of these enzymes in food industries and how we can develop these enzymes for various food application. So just give one introduction about our institute. Our institute is CSIR, National Institute for Interdisciplinary Science and Technology, which is located in Trivandrum. And as the name indicate, our institute is actually do several researches on interdisciplinary area. Right now, in the current scenario, in the current era, now all the disciplines are now interconnected. If you are a biologist, you have to depend upon various other disciplines like chemistry, even engineering, mathematics, and other things. So we are basically dealing all these kind of interdisciplinary areas. And in our institute, we have several departments related to chemistry, physics, materials, and agro-processing and other things. And I belongs to microbial process and technology division, which is one of the activities in the biotechnology area, where we do various microbial processes. And as far as CSIR is concerned, CSIR is one of the premier institute in India, located in almost all parts of India. And we have 37 laboratories spread across India with 50 field station and more than 17,000 employees. So, as I'm going to talk about about enzymes. So, use of enzymes in food preparation is an age-old process. If you see in the year even in before 1800, you can see several types of enzymes or even organisms are used for various food processes. One example is the production of wine making and alcohol fermentation. And even in our food items like dosha and idli, we used to used to keep this duff for some time so that the organisms grow in that and ferment it. So actually, what happens in this during the growth of the organism within this food is the organism produces certain kinds of enzymes, and these enzymes act or convert the food into make more flavor, or it enhances the texture and other things. So in 1830, the first enzyme was commercialized. That was a diastase that is used for the production of dextrin in bakeries. And even in 1850s, Louis Pasteur first find out that the certain organisms like yeast can ferment sugar into ethanol. And that time it was believed that the yeast, only the organisms can make the process. But later in 1897, it was found that even the extract from the yeast can ferment sugar into ethanol. So that started the beginning of the enzyme era. And now we have several enzymes that are used for various food industries for making the enhancement of flavor and texture of food and other applications. So microorganisms such as bacteria, yeast, fungi, and their enzymes are widely used in several food preparations, and the use of these enzymes actually make the taste of food more better, and it also improve the texture, and it also provide economic benefit to industries. And with the enhancement of technologies, now novel enzymes are being explored and now implemented in various industries. And now these enzymes play a major role in industry, food, especially in food industry. So, what are the advantages of using enzymes in food industries? There are a lot of advantages like the product quality. If you use enzymes, we can make the quality of food higher, and the manufacturing cost is low, and the generation of waste. Generally, in several food industries, some chemical processes are used for the conversion of enhancing the flavor or conversion of texture of food and other things. But most of these chemical processes can be changed with an enzymatic processes, and the enzymatic processes being a sustainable process, and it is a green process, and also the generation of waste is less in these kind of processes. Another thing is the reduced consumption of energy, because in chemical reactions it needs a high energy inputs, like maybe it requires high temperature, high pressure, and other kind sort of things. But if you use enzymes, most of these enzymatic reactions happens at a lower temperature with ambient condition. So we can reduce a lot of energy. We can dependence of this energy can be reduced much, and it also provides more economic benefit. And enzymes being the catalyst, we need to add only a small amount of enzyme to reactions to happen. That is also one advantage of enzymes. And enzymes used in food processing are generally destroyed during the subsequent processing step and not present in the final food product. For example, in the case of a bakery and making in the bread making and other things. So initially in the dough making, we need to add some amount of enzymes like amylases and other things. And during the baking process, this enzyme will denature, and then that final product is not present in the final food. So that are the major advantages of the enzymes, use of enzymes in food industries. So now I am telling about microbial enzymes. So most these enzymes, the enzymes what we are used in the food industries can be produced through microbes. So microbial enzymes are preferred sources than plants and animals. Plants and animals are the other sources, but the microbial enzymes have several advantages over plants and animals. The main advantage of microbial enzymes are short duration for production. Normally, the microbial enzymes we can produce in maybe in 24 hours or 48 hours of time. But as far as plants or animal enzymes are concerned, it takes months to cultivate the plants and take the enzymes. So that is the one advantage of microbial enzymes. And another advantage is microbial enzymes can produce abundant quantities because we can scale up the process of microbial enzyme production at any level, even from 100-liter scale up to 1 lakh liter scale. We can generate within in a short time. That is another advantage of microbial enzyme. Another thing is the cost effectiveness. And the microbial enzymes can be produced very cost-effective manner, because the microbes can grow in a very limited media with less expensive nutrients, so that the enzymes can be generated. And then it is not dependent on seasonal variation, especially in the case of plant enzymes. The plants depends on seasonal. But microbes are seasonal independent, so that these enzymes can be produced independent of the season. And the optimization of production of enzymes are very easy. And another advantage of microbes are the microbes can be easily manipulated through various genetical and metabolic engineering approaches, so that we can produce enzymes of our own interest. For example, now in the food industries, several enzymes are used that are thermostable. So the need of thermostable enzymes are that these enzymes act at a high temperature, especially in the baking process and all. The enzymes need to act at a temperature above 50 degree or above 70 degrees Celsius. So now enzymes are available that act at a 70 degrees Celsius, above 70 degrees Celsius, and these enzymes are produced through genetical engineering of microorganisms. And another advantage is that we can isolate several microorganisms that are in under very extreme environmental conditions like thermophilic condition, and even psychrophilic microorganisms are there that produce enzymes that are very adaptive to cold condition. Especially in the case of ice creams and all, we need an enzymes that act at a lower temperature. So these kinds of enzymes can produce through microbial approaches. So now I will give some very few examples of the enzymes that are used in several industries and the microorganisms that involved in this production. So one enzyme is alpha amylase, which is a widely used enzyme in especially in baking, brewing, and starch liquefaction, starch industries. And several microorganisms are known to produce this alpha amylase, like Aspergillus species, Bacillus stereothermophilus. This Bacillus stereothermophilus is actually a thermostable enzyme. These enzymes can withstand temperature up to 50 to 70 degrees Celsius. Then several microbacterial species are there that produce these enzymes. So actually, these enzymes are widely applied in duff softening and also aid in the production of sugars from yeast fermentation. And these enzymes actually hydrolyze the alpha 1,4-glycosidic bond in the polysaccharide, especially the starch, so that the short dextrin molecules are formed. And then this another enzyme, that is a glucoamylase, which act on this dextrin to produce glucose. So that is the major action of this alpha amylase. So if you add alpha amylase during the baking, bread making, and other things, you can feel the sweet you can see the taste of this bread, and also the texture of bread can also be made very soft by adding this enzyme. So another enzyme is glucosidase. So this is actually also used in the saccharification of dextrin to glucose in the similar way like amylase. And organisms, several fungal species like Aspergillus and Rhizopus species are known to produce these organisms. So this alpha amylase act on the amylose and amylopectin, and this amyloglucosidase act on this maltodextrin to produce the formation of glucose syrup. And this is also used for the production of light beers, where the alcohol content in this beer is less compared to the normal beer. So another example is alpha acetolactate dehydrogenase. So this enzyme is used especially in the wine industries, where it convert acetolactate to acetoin. So this acetoin actually makes the wine very sweet, or make the texture of wine very light and good. So actually, in the wine maturation, by the use of this enzyme, the wine maturation times can be reduced. So actually, in the production of wine making, this acetolactate has to be converted into acetoin. So in the normal wine maturation process, what happens is decarboxylation or removal of carbon dioxide need to be done with acetolactate to produce a diacetyl, and the yeast convert this diacetyl to acetoin. But by the use of this enzyme, this long step can be reduced, so that the wine maturation time can be reduced by the use of this enzyme. So another enzyme which is widely applied in food industry is a protease enzyme, which is otherwise known as proteinase enzymes, which are produced by several microorganisms like Aspergillus, Rhizomucor, and Penicillium, Bacillus. So the main use of this enzyme is a milk coagulation for cheese making, and the hydrolyzed production in the soups and other kind of foods, and also in the duff improvement in the bread making. So this protease actually split in the glycosidic bond. Actually, they split the protein molecules into small peptides and finally convert it into amino acids. So this is the major action of this protease enzyme. Another enzyme is an aminopeptidase, which is also coming under a protease enzyme. Actually, it releases the free amino acids from the proteins and peptide molecules. So you can see here in this picture here, the protein is a long chain of amino acids. So the peptide, this aminopeptidase is actually cut on this bond in this protein to produce a small peptides. So it has a wide application in the food processing. It's in the flour, especially in the baked products, and also it is used in the debittering of protein hydrolysate, and it is also used in the meat ripening, and in the fermentation of cocoa bean into processed cocoa powder. These enzymes are used, and in the cheese ripening also these enzymes are having wide application. And several microorganisms like Lactococcus aspergillus oryzae and several other microorganisms are also used for this production of enzyme. So another enzyme is also it's a kind of another protease. It is a chymosin produced by organisms like Aspergillus cloveromyces, and it hydrolyzes actually casein in the milk, and it is actually used for the coagulation of milk in the cheese making. Another enzyme is a lactase, otherwise known as beta galactosidase, which is having wide application in the milk industries, especially in the milk product like hydrolysis of milk, lactose to glucose and galactose. So this enzyme is highly important, especially for the production of the food which is lactose intolerant, because some people having the allergy to lactose, so they are lactose intolerant. So this lactose intolerant product can be produced by using this enzyme. Actually, what this enzyme does is convert the lactose into glucose and galactose. And this enzyme is also used in the manufacturing of lactulose. Lactulose is actually a synthetic sugar that is used to treat the constipation and other things. So this can also having wide application, wide market of this enzyme in this industry. So another enzyme is a lipase, which is a enzyme which act on especially on lipids. It converts triglycerides to fatty acid and glycerol, having various application in the enhancement of flavor enhancement in cheese production, and it also synthesis of flavor esters in various food product. And the various different kinds of cheese can be used by these kinds of enzyme. For example, for the making of a cheddar cheese, that is actually the very hard cheese that can be produced by using this enzyme that is produced by an organism, Aspergillus niger. There is another kind of cheese that is camembert cheese. That is actually a kind of a soft cheese. That kind of cheese can be produced by using the enzyme from another organism, that is a penicillium. So another important enzyme is a pectinase enzyme. So this actually hydrolyzes the pectin, because pectin is mainly present in the peel of several fruits, citrus fruits and other tomato and other fruits. So in the presence of this pectin in the fruit, especially in the case of fruit juice or the fruit syrup production, this pectin actually having a polysaccharide, having not look like a very good structure. So this pectinase enzyme actually hydrolyzes this pectin, so that the clarification of this final product can be made by using this enzyme. So another important enzyme is asparaginase. So actually this asparaginase actually degrade the asparagine. Asparagine is an amino acid, that is a non-essential amino acid that is present in various food material. So you can see when we are using a lot of fried products like potato chips, French fries, and other things. So while making these products, what actually happens is the asparagine present in the this potato and other material, this asparagine reacts with the glucose at a high temperature, and it produces acrylamide. And this acrylamide is actually known as a potent carcinogen. So this asparaginase enzyme actually degrade this asparagine during the process. Initially, when we treat this potato, before making these potato chips, when we treat the raw material with this enzyme, the asparagine present in this material is degraded into aspartic acid, so that this asparagine will not react with the glucose at high temperature, and the acrylamide production in the chips can be reduced. So this is also one of the important enzyme in food processing. So another enzyme is an aranginase, which is also a group of enzymes that actually used in the debittering and clarification of fruit juices, especially these enzymes, a group of enzymes which contains alpha aminosidase and beta glucosidase, which act on these fruit juices, and it makes a clarified fruit juice. And even the debittering, mainly if we can see that in the especially the citrus fruit, when we make the juice, we may taste some bitter taste. So this debittering of these juices can be avoided by using these enzymes. So these are some of the enzymes. These are very few examples. There are several other enzymes are also used in this. I just touched only few enzymes due to the lack of time. I'm not going to the details of all these enzymes. Now I will just touch upon how these microbial enzymes can be produced. So these enzymes in the production of enzymes, you can see out of the different microbial contribution in the production of enzymes, almost 60% of fungi can be used for the production of this enzyme, and 24% of bacteria and 4% of yeast available right now known are able to produce several enzymes. And the first stage in the production of microbial enzyme is a selection of suitable microorganism. I have told several enzymes, several microorganism in the production of enzyme. So we have to choose a suitable microorganisms and then select a raw material for the production of this enzyme. And then we need to adopt a fermentation process. And finally, we need to recover the enzyme. So if you see the microorganism produces different kinds of enzymes. These enzymes can be either extracellular, which is produced outside the microbial cell, or intracellular, which is produced inside the bacterial cell. So if it is an extracellular enzyme, we can, after cultivation of this microbe in a suitable media, we can directly extract these enzymes and directly use in the production process. If it is an intracellular enzyme, we need to break the cell and then extract these enzymes. And we need, if we need to purify the enzyme, we can go for purification and make the enzyme. There are mainly two methods are available for the production of enzyme. One is a submerged fermentation, which is a liquid fermentation, and another is a solid state fermentation, where the solid substrates are used for the fermentation. This is just a flow sheet of microbial enzyme production. We can select either submerged fermentation or solid state fermentation. So after submerged fermentation, we can separate the biomass or the microbial cells, and the supernatant mainly contains the enzymes. So we can concentrate the enzyme and extract, or if we want, we can purify the enzyme and finally stabilize the enzyme, and this can be marketed as a product. Even in the solid state fermentation also, after fermentation, we need to recover the enzyme from the fermented. Even sometimes the solid material as such can be used as enzyme, or we can add buffer and extract the enzyme, and we can use the enzyme for the production. So in the commercialization of the process of microbial enzymes, initially we need to isolate the enzyme. We can. I am not going to details of the maintenance of these organisms. So there are several methods are available for the maintenance of this organism, isolation and purification of this organism. Once we have the organism, we optimize the production in the small scale in a flask, in this kind of flask, in the case of both the solid state and a submerged fermentation. And after this, we optimize the process in a smaller fermenter. Here I show a 3-liter fermenter. We can optimize the process for the production of enzyme in a smaller scale. Then we can scale up this process up to even 1 lakh liter, and then we can package this enzyme for the production. So this shows the commercialization process for the submerged fermentation, and the below picture shows the commercialization process for the solid state fermentation. So with this, I conclude my talk because of lack of time. I'm not going much a scientific jargon of all these microbial enzymes and other actions of this thing. But at the nutshell, I would like to give a take-home message that enzymes find a very good application.
Hello, sir. Vinod, sir. You're not audible, sir.
Vinod?
Hello, am I audible?
Okay.
Now you are. Okay.
Okay, so at the nutshell, I will I will point out here that I will just wind up in 30 seconds. So the enzymes, microbial enzymes have very wide good application in food industries. And there are several advantages of using microbial enzymes because of efficient process and low energy yield process safety. And we can produce microbial enzymes. Different methods are available: submerged and solid state fermentation, and we can easy to produce the microbial enzyme on larger scale. And microbial enzymes can be modified easily through various molecular and biological, biochemical, or genetic engineering approaches. And there are still several enzymes or several microbial sources are available that need to be explored. And and we can find it out new avenues or new research areas or new research application or food application with these microbial enzymes. So with this, I will stop here, and I would once again thank all the organizers for this opportunity, and thank you all.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Binod. Dr. Binod was giving an excellent talk on microbial enzymes. You know that enzymes or proteins are normally they get denatured at higher temperature. There are thermostable enzymes which have been developed by genetic engineering. And it's all very good in many food processing applications like bakery products, as he was mentioning. It is also equally important in waste disposal, also food waste conversion. This is equally important. And you find that he has also carried out work on the commercial production of these enzymes at the CSIR Institute of NIST. Dr. Binod is also got an award of Young Scientist Award from the International Forum of Industrial Bioprocessors from France. A young scientist working, perhaps other researchers, students can take him as a model, how the research work has to be carried out. We also at COFOS, we keep our good contact with NIST in many of the aspects. Thank you, Dr. Binod. Students who have got any questions may post or mail the questions to Dr. Binod because of the lack of time. Now, concluding the seminar, we had 3 speakers. There are basically 2 aspects of food production. One is the food security, and the other is the food safety aspect. We had talks, mostly 2 talks on food safety. Dr. Binod perhaps talked more about food security, that is making available the food and how the food products processing can be increased. It is in this context that food security that this year's Nobel Peace Prize has gone to World Food Program, probably the largest humanitarian organization focused on hunger and food security. In fact, in 2019, World Food Program has served 97 million people in 88 countries with providing the required food for the needy people. In our country, in our state, also similar programs available. Father Prashant of SH College have mentioned the Podichor program about supplying food to the needy. These are all examples of carrying out food security and food safety aspects. So we have 3 eminent speakers, and I thank all the resource persons individually. Thank you all. And on behalf of the AFST Cochin chapter, AFST Cochin chapter is started in 2013. In fact, AFSTI is having headquarters at CFTRI Mysore, probably one of the largest professional organization, started in 1957. More than 7,500 members are there throughout India and abroad. The students and other faculty are welcome to join AFSTI as a member. On behalf of AFSTI, we thank Father Dr. Prashant of SH College, Severa, Dr. Gino George, Dr. James, and others for associating with the AFSTA Cochin chapter in observing this year's World Food Program. Thank you, all the participants, all the resource persons. And may I now request Dr. Ramya to conclude this webinar with a vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Nambudiri, sir. Yes, in between, for the information of the participants, the feedback link has been pasted in chat box. You may please fill in the feedback form and you'll be receiving the certificate shortly within 4 to 5 days. Yes, and now we move on to the vote of thanks. Now it's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks. I thank our dear Principal, Reverend Father Dr. Prashant Palakapillu CMI, for his constant support and encouragement to conduct this webinar. Thank you, Father. I wish to place my record of gratitude to Professor Dr. D.D. Nambudri, President AFSTI Cochin Chapter, for associating with us for the webinar and also for his useful suggestions. I thank you, sir, on behalf of the College, Environment Science Department, and on my own behalf. We are anticipating such academic cooperation in future too. Thank you very much, sir. I also wish to place my record of gratitude to Dr. C.N. Ravishankar, Director, SIFT Kochi, for sparing his valuable time and inaugurating the webinar. I thank you, sir, on behalf of the college, department, and on my own behalf, and looking forward for your support in our future endeavors too. Thank you, sir. I also wish to acknowledge all the resource persons, Dr. Sanu Jacob, Dr. K.P. Sudhir, and Dr. Vinyat Parameshwaran, for their excellent presentations on various topics and also for spending some time with us from their busy schedule. Thank you, sir. Dr. Gino George, Dean of Science, has been working tirelessly for the past few weeks to make this webinar happen. I sincerely thank you, ma'am, for your relentless support. Thank you, ma'am. I thank the technical team of our college for their support in the smooth conduct of this webinar. I also thank all the faculty of Environment Science Department, Dr. T.J. James, HOD, Dr. Anju S.G. and Dr. Anjana S. faculty for their support. Last but not the least, I thank all the participants for their patient hearing throughout the webinar. Thank you one and all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे